Greetings, seaside comrades, and welcome to Driftwood. This is the last entry in our current season of Sokpop shenanigans. I squint and spot an offshore platform. The structure is mystical in these low-light conditions. So this is described as an atmospheric walking simulator. I did jump into it with pretty much no knowledge. I did just test if it runs so that I can record it, and I got stuck in some geometry, but today we're just gonna walk. Swept up sand held together by tall grass. Don't enter, you will harm flora and fauna. There's a little road. I wonder where the road takes us. It's so scary. A blade of tall grass cuts into my calf. A drop of blood down my ankle and foot. It stings. Jesus, okay. Why is it kind of giving horror vibes? I didn't see horror as one of the descriptions. So anyway, this is the final entry in our current Sokpop season, but fear not, I have created a playlist of all of our Sokpop games, including the ones that we played before the Sokpop season. So go ahead and check it out, because it's going to be, I think, about 13 entries right now. Thank you so much for coming along with me on this journey as well. The beach is always longer than I expect. I really enjoy playing these little games, and it's really nice. So I hope that you join me again for when we do our next Sokpop adventure. The water lies still. There's no waves, no seagulls, no crabs, no fish. I love the nighttime. I love the sea at night. It's so cool. If you've never been, if you ever get the opportunity to go somewhere where you can just be by the sea as sort of everything gets quiet, like the nature quiets and everything gets slower and silent, and you can hear the lapping waves. Noctilica is a type of sea algae. It lights up when disturbed. It must be magical swimming in light. Yes. This is true. There's this algae that sort of sparkles when disturbed, and it's so beautiful when you have like the nighttime with the moon shining on the waves, and then the waves sometimes disturb I dip the toe into the water. It's freezing cold. The waves sometimes disturb the algae, and you just see these sparkles. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I love when there's an algae bloom. And then, of course, during the day, when there's a bloom, it's not as pretty, but at night, it's very magical. Look at that, though. These glitchy things. It's so scary. Oh, I think we just got stuck. I think we just got absorbed into this. No matter. I'll get us unstuck. I had to restart, so we might see some of the same text. But we must avoid the little glitchy areas, I think. It's nice. Another thing I found that you can do is you can sit down. I do wish that there was a little bit more waves. I've never seen the sea this still. Let's walk towards that city and not get stuck in the geometry. Let's see if we can get anything about the city. I love seeing... So this thing, there's this... For all of my life, we went to the same place, this little island, to the seaside, and across the water, there's another island, and it has this beautiful town filled with colorful lights. What seems like I think there's just an invisible wall, and that's where we got stuck. Oh, look at that. Ooh. Let's see if we can walk over here. Yes. I don't think we're meant to go there. Okay, we back up. Yeah, it's just so it's so magical. It just I get a little bit emotional thinking about like looking at the beautiful, so because the light pollution is so low other than that town across the water, you see the stars so intensely in the sky, and then you see the city glinting in the distance, and all you see are these lights, these super mega colorful lights. And it's not a city like this, it's just little sparkles. When I was a kid, it sort of reminded me of Christmas lights, just like far away, and those like really gaudy Christmas lights that come in all colors. It was really beautiful, and I still love to go there. Take care going in. The water is cold and the current's strong. We can go in. Oh, that's scary. I used to never be scared of going into the water, but I've developed a fear of that feeling when you look out into the open water and you see just the deep blue, like you're swimming underwater and you just open your eyes. It's so scary. It's so scary. But I love the water. And I still love to go to that place. Been going to it. Technically, the first time I went there, I wasn't even born yet. My mom went there when she was pregnant. And it's so weird. So weird to be alive for such a long time and see that place change and like go back to it every year, and it's just there. I don't know, something so magical about it, and this is really reminding me of that. We don't have these oil platforms, and we don't have cities like this, but it's the same energy. It's really nice. I wish there were more stars. One of the things I loved was always looking at the constellations. I remember learning about them with my dad, him pointing out a bunch of different ones, and you could see them so clearly in the sky. And then one of the things that happens there is because this is a bunch of islands in Croatia, and because the islands are this rock that absorbs heat, what happens is that at night they dissipate heat at such a rate that they seem to almost disperse the clouds above them. So even when there's like a storm and it's raining, it usually lasts a shorter amount of time, even because the skies are clear so often. It's such a weird place. It feels like it's magical. And you can just, the other thing that where I live all the time, you can basically never walk around shirtless, right? First of all, it's culturally inappropriate, but on the other hand, it's also never warm enough. I mean, in the summer, of course, but it's never the vibe to do that. And there you can just be wearing, like, when you go outside at night, I feel like in the city or in civilization, you have to put on some kind of armor. And whether it's layers for the weather, or it's just layers because that's what we do when we're outside. You dress a certain way to go out. And at that place, because it's the seaside and it's this sort of like, it's this fairy tale community, you don't really need to do anything. There's other people there, and you don't know them, but you know that you're in a community that like is friendly and safe, and you're just walking around. Whether it's 2 a.m. or 2 p.m., you just take a stroll, you go into this park. There's this beautiful park that has like cactuses and like plants that were all planted by this one guy who ran the place for 40 years. And every stone was placed by him or somebody helping him. You know, like a lot of the time when we were kids, we would always be like, how could we help you? And we would just do stuff for him, carry a rock around, or, you know, help him clean something where he would need to really bend down and get into, because he was already really old at the time. And so it just feels like this magical little place that's sort of isolated from everything else. This is kind of the same vibe. And it just feels so cool. So if you're watching this video, maybe think about where you can find a place like that. I feel like it's so important. It's so important to find places like that. I didn't really expect this game to have me thinking so much about this stuff. Because, like, I mean, I'm looking for gameplay, but I'm pretty sure a walking simulator, and I'm sure the description, let's see what this is. The description is what it is. There's just, it's Driftwood. It's not worth much. I could get around. Hi, Driftwood. We also don't get Driftwood that much at that place. And the other magical thing is that we would often go during meteor shower season. And the skies are so clear. And I remember we would just be lying on blankets in the park, looking at the meteors. And one thing that I thought was, when I left high school, I thought that everything would change in a way that, like, you go to that place and you can never relive the childhood vibes of just exploring and chilling and all of that, because you're an adult now and the magic is gone. But that place is still magical. So I think that this is what this game is about. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's meant to be haunted. Maybe there's going to be a jump scare. It's so nice. That's not how we spell calf, though, is it? Look at the moon. Beautiful. I did reduce the music a little bit. Originally, I wanted to keep it at the volume that the game has it ambiently, because I felt like, because it's an atmospheric thing, it would be nice to do it, but it just gets louder and louder. Shall we go in here into the fence? I don't want to disturb. You will harm flora and fauna. I don't think you harm flora and fauna. There's this other thing. Okay, I have one more cute story for you. One of the things that we used to do, this was like in the 90s, is because of the place is sort of like sandy, and there's these like tall grasses that grow in the sand. And of course what this happens is when you have a hill like this, right? And you have just a little bit of grass in the middle of it. When there's a rain and a downpour or a storm, then it will get washed away, except for the part that the roots of the grass are holding together. So you sort of, instead of these like lovely dune-like hills, you sometimes got these little lumps. They're almost like the shape of a tree stump with tufts of grass going up. And what we used to do when we were children, especially if your like sunglasses broke or something, which, you know, happened all the time to kids. You get those cheap sunglasses by the seaside for a couple Croatian kunas, and you'd run around with your friends and then you'd drop them and they would break. Or whenever something like that would happen, we would think about giving them to the grass people. And you would make a little face with the sunglasses, and you would get pebbles that you were collecting throughout your walk. You would put the sunglasses on that little stump so that the grass looked like hair, and the sunglasses would give it a face. And then you would put the little pebbles. You could also just make it 100% out of pebbles. Obviously, it's not a good idea to leave plastic glasses in the wilderness, but you know, this was the 90s. And I mean, it wasn't the wilderness. It was a path from one beach to another. But yeah, I remember then you would be walking past it. And part of the magic was also seeing the face change. You know, the pebbles would slowly fall away, and then somebody might take the glasses. And sometimes people might take the glasses and try to fix them. Other times they'll just put them away because they don't belong in the nature. But you just see the face changing, and you're like a kid, and you understand that like things are transient. I think it's so cool. And I thought it was a cute thing to share. We don't do it anymore. I don't think parents do that with their kids anymore. But it was just such a lovely thing to do. Look at this beautiful geometry here. Are we gonna get stuck if we walk into that? Really nicely done. I think it really captures the atmosphere. I do think sometimes the atmosphere is all you need. Damn, this is making me so excited to go to that place. I'll go in 5 months from now. Lovely. Can we walk all the way into the water? Oh no, that's frightening. Okay, I don't like that. Nope. Wait. I panicked. Oh, can we sit in the water? Uh-oh. I pressed the sitting button and now I can't move. Oh, I can still move, but I can no longer turn. I've broken the game. Everyone help, I've broken the game. Yep. That's it. Aww. Hold on. Let's get into a nice position as we adjourn our little venture. Okay, we're back. Look at the moon. So nice. Look at the water moving. The clouds are moving too. Okay, everybody. This is where we're going to adjourn for the night. And for this series, the first Sokpop season, there will be more. And there will also be other things. Don't worry, we will do a bunch of... We always do other stuff. Let's plays, first tries, first impressions, indie games of all sorts. We don't usually do commentary like this. I'm sorry for rambling. I just figured... I felt like really honoring the walking simulator where the atmosphere takes you wherever it takes you. I didn't expect it to take me here. I knew that it was gonna be really short. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll just chat about stuff, and then here we are, 20 minutes. Yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this little walking simulator. Check out Driftwood on Steam. This is not sponsored, and you can, as always, check out Sokpop as well. They are a collective that do amazing games, from some really popular ones like Stacklands to some of the less well-known ones like this one. It has 4 comments and maybe 17 reviews or something. Yeah. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me, for giving me the 20 minutes of your day. And I hope that I see you around. And we're doing a lot more stuff. I'm still working on some of our edits of the series that we have currently going on. I believe I'll start Synergy. And I've also been having a hankering for some older games. You know, I play a lot of new games because I enjoy trying new stuff, and I know that if I didn't have this YouTube channel, one of the reasons that I was like, oh, let's do this channel is because I'm like, okay, then I have an excuse to try out new stuff all the time. And I'll just stick with, you know, Caesar 3 and Age of Empires. But I feel like visiting some of the older games, some city builders that I've never really gotten into, and some city builders that I loved and I didn't make videos about them. I feel like it's time. I don't know. Clearly, I'm in an introspective period of returning to the past. So yeah. And speaking of returning to the past, you can also come say hi at twitch.tv/Lelling. I'll put it on screen, although it does kill the vibe a little bit. There it is. It is... I stream there 5 times a week, and currently we're doing a lot of old gameplay. We just finished Soul Reaver 1 and 2. Soul Reaver 1 was a childhood game of mine. And we're also now playing Guild Wars 1, which is celebrating 20 years, and I've never played it before, and I'm really enjoying it. Feeling a bit emotional and nostalgic about game development and like all of that stuff. So, if you would like, check that out. And come say hi. This is the weirdest episode I've ever filmed, but I hope that you have a good one. Yeah, I think that's it for me. Check out the other stuff. Check out the new Sokpop playlist I've created with all of our Sokpop games. And have a nice rest of your life. And stay solidary. I'll see you around. Goodbye.